Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, everybody at Viewerland. Welcome to Generator Garbage Monday. As always, our videos are for entertainment purposes only. Look up the specifications on your machines and whatever you need to do. But today we're going to talk about the Champion Dual Fuel and the maintenance that I do on it. The manual says every 50 hours for an oil change, or 6 months is what I do too. I do it twice a year. Oil's cheap. Your machine costs a lot more than a quart of oil. So what I always do every 6 months or 50 hours is I change the oil and I give my machine a treat, and I put the Royal Purple, I call it deep purple, 10W30 in it, and it takes 1 quart and 2 ounces for my machine. So I put obviously the whole quart in, and then I put 2 ounces of Lucas in there. So I put 2 ounces of Lucas in there when I do that. And I have a little funnel that came with the machine to help you do that. But while the machine's cool, it's a good time to change your spark plug. I do that every year. So I'm going to go ahead and change. We can look on here on my sheet. I keep a little sheet to keep things nice and simple for you. And the last time the spark plug was changed was October of last year. So it's due for it this year, because I always change it before the season. And last time the oil was changed was April 21st. So I'm going to change it now, and I'm going to have fresh oil in there and a new spark plug. So you change your spark plug, and if you notice, I wrote the gap down. I looked up the gap, and the gap on this one is 2.4 to 3.1. So what is a spark plug gap? So you take your spark plug out, I should already had it out for you. I don't have to show you the box today. But it has a little protector on it, and you get your little gap tool. And that's how you can determine if it's preset. And that one's a little tight, and that's a little loose. So I'm going to have to just back it off just a hair with this tool. You fit it in here, and you bend it back, and you move that little probe back, and that way it'll line up and it'll be perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to gap my spark plug before I put it in. So what else can you do to your generator? Always put the little protector back on before you gap it. So I'm going to be changing the spark plug while it's cool. You can take out your air filter. And you can just wash this in mild soap and water. Clean it out, clean out that. So I'm going to wash this morning before I fire it up. So it'll get some mild soap and water. I'm going to clean that while it's cool. Clean my air filter. Then the other thing you want to clean out, but I've already done it this year, is clean out your spark arrestor. Because if this gets gummed up with stuff from the exhaust, it's going to restrict the exhaust flow and it's not going to run. So every time I change my oil, I do this. So I'm going to do it anyway today. And loosen these 3 bolts, take it out, take a wire brush, clean up your spark arrestor. So clean up the spark arrestor, spark plug, clean your oil filter. Then you can run the machine, let it get good and hot, then drain the oil. And then close up everything, all your drains, and then go ahead and add 1 quart of 10W30. And for the 2 ounces, you can add 2 more ounces of oil if you'd like, or you can add a little Lucas, and that's what I do in this machine. I don't add the Lucas in my Generac. But speaking of Generac, that baby's out there ready to fire up, so why don't we go out there and take a look at the Generac. All right, boys and girls, we're back, and we're with the 24 kW Generac, and we've showed you in the past how to calculate your wattage and your draws, and how to figure out what your machine can produce and what it can't produce. But this one, don't forget, it's 24 kW. You run on natural gas. It doesn't burn as efficient as gasoline, is your best producer. Number 2 is LP, and number 3 is natural gas. So we're only getting about 21 kW out of the machine. So that was all calculated in what we figured out that we were going to use. In an emergency, you're not going to use everything all at once. you know, unless you want to show off and turn on all your lights to impress the neighbors that you have power and they're sitting in the dark. so that's always fun to do. But we just had this service. I'll talk about that on the next week's video. But today is, we set the clocks back on Sunday, so don't forget to change your, or on Sunday morning at 2 a.m. So don't forget to change your smoke alarm batteries and your CO batteries. Last year I forgot to change my CO battery, and I heard it chirp in the house, so I'm like walking around looking to figure out which smoke detector's chirping, because I thought I put a bad battery in it. So I changed the batteries in all the smoke detectors again, and it ended up being the CO detector that I forgot. So don't forget your CO detector, and do yourself a favor and change the CO and all your smoke alarm batteries when you set the clocks back or ahead in the spring. When you spring ahead or fall back in the fall. So change those batteries and get those ready. And here you go, the 24 kW is running. We're going to let it run for a couple of seconds. And it hasn't had any light change. It's staying green. So the self-analyzing that it just did for this run is everything's checked out. So we had it serviced by the dealer. I'll tell you everything about that in next week on some of the things I found out. So other than that, have a safe day. Check your equipment. Take care of your equipment so it can take care of you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.